Welcome to our last packet. Very exciting here. We are in the new functions packet, and we are on page 1 of that new functions packet. So the first term we're going to talk about is relations. So what a relation means is a set of ordered pairs. So a relation just means a set of ordered pairs. What do I mean by ordered pairs? So ordered pairs just mean our coordinates or our points, and you have multiple points in that set. So that's a relation. The next new definition we're going to learn today is domain. So the set of x values is called the domain. So I could say domain or x values interchangeably. They mean the same term. And then your set of y values is called the range. So again, range and y values are used interchangeably. So if I take a look at number 1, they give us these ordered pairs. And they want us to find the domain. So the domain we said are our x values. So my x values are the terms that come first. So the domain is -3, -2, 1, 3, and -3. Oh, we already had -3, so we don't need to write that again. So my domain is just the 4 x values. My range means the y values. So for these set of ordered pairs, my y values are 1, 0, 2, -4, and 5. So my domain is my x values and my range is my y values. So now if I was to write this in a table, I'm just taking these points and writing them in my table where they match up. So just like when we were graphing and we would write a table, same concept. So when x was -3, y was 1. When x is -2, y is 0. When x was 1, y was 2. When x was 3, y was -4. When x is -3, y was -5. So I'm just using those sets and filling in the ordered pairs. Next, we're going to do what's called a mapping. So you start with your domain or your x value. So I'm just going to write x above this. So remember, we wrote our domain as -3, -2, 1, and 3. And then we had our y values. We had -4 was with negative. Oh, so actually, never mind. I'm going to scratch that. So when we had -3, where y value was 1. When we had -2, our y value was 0. When we had 1, our y value was 2. When we had 3, our y value was -4. And when we had -3, our y value was 5. So I started with the -4 originally because they sometimes put them in order from lowest to highest. It's okay if you don't. So now we're going to map them to where they went. So the -3 as an x value had 2 y values. So when x was -3, it was 1 as y. And when x was -3, it also had 5 as my y value. When x was -2, y was 0. When x was 1, y was 2. When x was 3, y was -4. All right, now we're going to graph these points. So we're going to plot points just like we've been doing. So I'm going to use my table to plot my points. I just think it's easiest to refer back to the table. So when I have the point -3, 1, so 1, 2, 3 to the left, up 1. Then we have the point -2, 0. A lot of people were getting confused with these points. So -2 tells me go 2 to the left. Then I don't go up or down because it's 0. Then I have the point 1, 2. So 1 to the right, up 2. Then we have the point 3, negative 4. So 1, 2, 3 to the right, down 4 because it's a negative. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have negative 3, positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's my graph. We're going to learn about domain and range when they give us a graph this time also. So go ahead and flip to page 2. So on page 2, we're talking a little bit more about domain and range. So for domain, you scan your pencil left to right and identify the x values in which you are touching the graph. Because remember we said that domain means the x values. For range, you're scanning your pencil top and bottom and identify the y values in which you are touching the graph. So we're gonna cross out, actually don't cross it out, we're gonna start on number 2. So in number 2, if I wanna write my domain, it says scan your pencil from left to right. So if I scan my pencil on the x-axis, because domain means the x values, so my x-axis starts at negative 3. And then if I keep scanning to the right, it ends at positive 3. So all of my x values fall in between negative 3 and positive 3. So we're going to represent that like this. So x goes in the middle. All my numbers are less than or equal to greater than or equal to negative 3, but less than or equal to positive 3. Now we're going to do the range. So the range told us to scan your pencil from top to bottom. So if I go to the top, my first number that hits on my y-axis is positive 3. And if I keep scanning my pencil, my last number that my graph touches on my y-axis is negative 3 again. So we're going to write the same notation, but this time we're talking about range, which means our y values. So it just so happened that your domain and range look exactly the same. For this question, that doesn't always happen. So let's go to number 5. So on number 5, if I'm going to start with my domain, I go from left to right. So the first number I hit on my x-axis is negative 1. And then I keep going. The last number I hit on my x-axis is positive 5. Remember, domain means the x value, so there's our representation. Range, we know, means the y value. So this isn't exactly on the y-axis, but we're looking for the highest y value. So the highest y value is at 3 on my y-axis. If I keep going down, I hit negative 3 is where the last y value is on the graph. And there is our notation for the range in number 5. Okay, so what you guys are going to do right now is you're going to do questions 2 and 3 on page 1, questions 2 and 3 on page 1, and then you're going to go and do questions, let's see, 11 and 12 on page 3. So 2 and 3 on page 1, 11 and 12 on page 3. Have a great day, everybody, and as always, submit your picture on Schoology. It's the 4th quarter here, so please make sure you are submitting all your work. Have a great day.